What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Knafs Co Lander. So as you guys all probably know by now, this is Ben over at Knafs Co, his most recent design. Actually, I take that back. I think the big banner was his most recent design. But the Lander has been a very, very popular knife for the last couple months in and around the EDC community. It's coming in as a budget knife, but a big, selling point of the knife is these two screws right here, because Ben designed them to be fast swap scales. So all you gotta do is just pop this screw, and then you gotta take the pot clip off too, I guess, but there's two screws here, and then you can take the knife apart, take the scales off without taking the whole knife apart. So like if I would take these micarta scales off right here, you would be able to still use the knife for what it is, and it wouldn't lose any functionality. It would just be a scaleless knife. Basically, it would just be liners, but everything would be, put together, still, nice and tight and everything like that. But yeah, so this is really the second rendition, or the second time that I've experienced like fast swap scales. The only other knife that I am aware of that uses them is Three Rivers Manufacturing. My TRM Neutron has basically the same setup. They have two screws on both sides. You just unscrew those and pop the knife off, but it keeps like the body of the knife together, intact, still functionable. But at that price point, I mean, this is coming in around, on the website, it goes for $58. And if you get it from like Blue Creek Knives or White Mountain Knives, you can get, with someone's code, you can get it down a little bit cheaper. So I think at that price point, it's a really cool thing that you don't see too often on, knives of that price range, budget knives, really anything that's less than $100. So I've had this for, I think it's been a month and a half, 2 months. So I'm, I've had plenty of time to carry it, to use it. So hopefully I can give you guys a good rendition of my thoughts on it, and you guys are able to take something away from this review. But yeah, so we're just going to jump right into materials. So of course, the Knafs logo there on the blade. My camera will, there we go. Then you have the WIUG for what is up, guys. My camera will focus. There you go. It says Lander. This is a D2 blade. So when I decided to purchase one of these, I did buy it from Blue Creek Knives. Unfortunately, both the, this was obviously a black wash or DLC coated blade with black G10. Now I have my micarta scales on here, but you have the all blacked out version, and then you also have a blue coated scales. Can't talk today, guys, I'm sorry. But actually, I can't see the blue one. Oh, never mind. You gotta click on the knife on the website. But yeah, the blue with the, I think it's a stone wash. They're both sold out on bluecreekknives.com, which is where I originally bought it. So the link that I will have down below for you guys will be to Knafs Co's official website. It's always nice to support makers and stuff like that directly. So if you guys are interested, this will be linked down below. But this is a D2 blade. I believe it's 2.75 inches long. So it's a small knife, but it fits in the hand very, very well. You have a nice thin edge to flat grind up here until it comes into this little swedge that's built in, or cut in, I should say. And like I said, this came originally with black scales, but after I got the knife, I found a Instagram page. I think it was through my Explore option on Instagram. I came across it, and it is BarnesCraftDesigns. His name is Holden. He's a great guy. Actually, messaged him, reached out to him, and, asked if I would be able to get some sort of a discount because I wanted to pick up some scales. I knew I was getting a Lander in, and I really wanted to, indulge in getting some new scales, because that's the whole, fun factor of this knife, is having the fast swap scales. And then, he got back to me. He basically originally, like I said, I asked for a discount. He said, I'm just going to, whatever you want, I'll send some stuff to you to check out and whatnot. And I was like, okay, cool. So, from the very beginning, Holden has been a very, pleasant, pleasurable, whatever word you want to use there, guy to talk to. He seems really cool. I believe he's from Indiana. So he's making everything, all here in the USA, which is a big, stick for a lot of people. But the micarta that I am rocking now has a, I believe he calls this his Anso pattern. It's basically textured and ridged the whole way back on both sides. He actually sent me 2 scales, which the other scales are in my closet right now. So he sent me these in black micarta, and then he also sent me, I believe they're OD green, just normal, flat textured micarta. These are the original ones that I asked for, and I've really enjoyed having these on here. They provide a great grip, and they feel really good in hand and in pocket. So my plan is for the extra set that he has sent me, I don't think I will switch them on here because my plan is to do a giveaway. Whenever I hit 1,000 subs, I think I'm going to get a lander and then include the lander and the scales in the giveaway. So I haven't tossed those on here yet. I don't want to really get my O's on them or anything like that. But yeah, so scales are from BarnesCraftDesigns. He has an Etsy shop. I'm actually going to leave a link down below because after he got on and watched my unboxing of these and my installation of these, he reached back out to me. And sorry, BarnesCraftDesigns is his Etsy shop. BarnesCraft, I think EDC is his Instagram page. But I will leave both linked down below. And if you guys are interested in picking up any of these scales, I actually have a new discount code. 814EDC will get you 15% off of your purchase. And he has, looks like, some canvas micarta, or excuse me, natural canvas micarta, olive canvas micarta, black canvas micarta, and camo canvas micarta, all available. But it seems like a lot of people have them in their cart, and some options are limited. So definitely get on and check out the website if you're interested. And he also mentioned to me when we were DMing, his original thing that he had his Etsy shop for was he made micarta scales for Swiss Army knives. So he said he is planning on getting back into that in 2023, and he is also looking to venture into making micarta scales for other knives. So if you guys are interested and thinks that you think this is a good looking scale set, definitely go check out Holden's shop and keep an eye out on his Instagram page and on his website or on his Etsy page for anything coming in the future. I definitely will be keeping my eyes and ears out for it. If anything comes back in, or he starts making scales for some other knives that I might have or might be interested in checking out. I'm sure this won't be the last BarnesCraftDesigns scale set that you see on my channel, but I know that was kind of a long spiel, but I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to him and say how much I like these scales. They are very quality. They went together very well. All the screws set in pretty easily because sometimes micarta is it can be a pain in the ass because you have little burrs or things sticking out, and that's just what happens when you're dealing with micarta and you're trying to set screws and stuff like that. But everything for this specific set went smoothly. They feel great. They just feel awesome in the hand, which I'll talk more about ergos and stuff like that. But so yeah, instead of the black G10 scales, I am rocking some BarnesCraftDesign and so black micarta scales, and they look awesome with the blacked out blade and everything like that. They go with this knife very, very well. So you do have a loop over style deep carry pot clip that is recessed into the scale with countersunk screws. So that's awesome. You do have a filler tab over here so you can lefty carry it if needed. So it is a nice touch as well. It is a liner lock. You do have a little bit of internal milling on the show scale side. But this knife is pretty lightweight as it is, and even with the G10, it was pretty lightweight. And I mean, it's, as you guys can see, it's not a big knife. So most of the time, knives like this, unless it's a huge chunk of titanium and the scales are like this thick, it's gonna be pretty lightweight. So it's on bearings, liner lock, flat grind. I think I gave the whole rundown of it. So next, we're gonna jump into action. Thumb studs, I guess that's one thing I did forget. But this is a dual thumb stud knife. So thumb flicking it is smooth. Middle finger flicking it is smooth. One thing I have had a little bit of an issue with is I've had a little bit of lock stick. I did take this apart a couple of days ago, cleaned the knife out for the first time, because for the first month that I've had it, it was smooth. It was very good action, but it kind of developed a little bit of lock stick. So I went in, cleaned everything out, lubed everything up. And then I believe from watching Kevin, Lefty EDC's channel, watching his disassemblies, I think you can take graphite, so like a pencil, and add it to the lock face. I did that, and it is a little bit better, but you still have a little bit of stick, but it's not a huge deal. It is much better than what it is, or what it was, because before there was a pretty loud, audible noise. This has a little bit, excuse me. but it's much easier to push out of the way and it's not nearly as loud. But you guys can see the closing action just drops to your nail, and one shake will go home, or you can try to do like the, you know, the real slow close, but it's very smooth. Fires out of there very well. detent is on point. And I don't know if it's the way Ben designs where his thumb studs are located, but every knife that I've handled that has been his design, which I have the Lander, I have the baby banner, and then I also have, if I can get it over here. Yep, there we go. I also have the normal banner. So the banner was the first one I got. I got this on the initial drop back on Blade HQ. I think it was 2020. So I've had this knife for a long time. It's rocking some unlocked composite scales. Really like this knife. If you guys are interested, go find my review on this way back in the channel. Then you have the baby banner. Awesome ergo, you know, very fidget friendly knife for how big it is. And then you have the Lander. So the one knife that I have not checked out that Ben has designed is the big banner. I'd like to get it in on the channel sometime just to feel it out, but I think it's like a 3.75 inch blade. And I'm not a huge fan of knives that big, because if it was like a 3.5 inch or less, I would really consider it, just because I kind of like collecting everything that Ben has, or Ben has designed. And so I don't know if it's the way the thumb studs are located like below the pivot instead of like next to it, but all of his designs are super snappy. And I know he doesn't have anything to do with the detents, but you know, all of the, I believe Civivi made this, if that's, if I'm thinking correctly, but they always kill it. And I think it's because the way he has them designed, you just get a really snappy, I mean, it just fires out of there. I've long said that the banner has one of the best thumb stud actions that I've ever felt, and I still stand by that to this day. So, but the Lander is right up there as well, and it's just snappy, feels really good. You get used to, you know, just like every other knife, you know, that when you get tested and you get attuned to it, it's just, I mean, you could sit here and do this all day. Fires lefty, middle finger flicks lefty. Closing action is good. Just you know, for the price point and everything like that, it's phenomenal. You know, it really is phenomenal. So action is great. Next up is ergos, and this knife is small, like I've stated a few times before. But I have a, you know, I think I have like a large size glove hand, and I can still get all 4 fingers on here very comfortably. There's a little bit sticking out back here, but I don't feel like I'm too cramped. I don't feel like I'm too, you know, smushed onto the handle or anything like that. You don't have a, you know, choil or anything. You can kind of choke up here on the roundness of the scale. If you're going to be doing some real precise cuts and you know, want to be careful of what you're doing, I would, you know, you could do that, but definitely be careful with doing anything rough. It's going to be kind of moving the knife around, or has the potential to kind of jolt the knife around in your hand. You don't want to, excuse me, cut yourself on that edge right there. But yeah, ergos, especially with this micarta, and you have the ridges and the texturing going on there, it feels very, very good. The black G10 is very similar to the green G10. Excuse me, I cannot talk today, guys. I apologize. Usually once or twice a video that it's like I lose my train of thought or my voice cuts out. But if you guys are frequent watchers here at the 814 EDC YouTube channel, you know it's a frequent, you know, a common occurrence, a frequent occurrence, whatever you want to, you know, call it. It happens, but we just keep on filming. So the black G10 is very similar to how this G10 is finished. So it was really nice. It was, you know, had a good amount of texture and consistency without being too coarse and too, you know, rough. But to me, the micarta just, you know, takes this knife over the top. Feels great. I love the black micarta. I love how it's all blacked out, you know, black blade, black hardware, black clip, black liners, and then black micarta. So it feels great. It just fits in the hand very well, kind of melts a little bit. The paw clip does, you know, have a little bit of leverage here. It's, you know, it's not like sunken down into the scale or anything like that. But honestly, like I can feel it, but unless you're like squeezing as hard as you can on this knife, it's not going to bother you. It's not going to be that much of a hot spot. But depending on, you know, if you have smaller hands, bigger hands, it might cause an issue for you. So definitely keep that in mind if you're considering buying this. But I mean, it's pretty much I mean, you have a little bit of curvature going on here, but it's pretty much a flat line. And then same back here, you have a little bit of an indentation where it gets skinny, and then it thickens out and kind of tapers off towards the back here. Very neutral, very easy for anybody's hand really, as long as you don't have huge oven mitts for hands to fit on here, and it'll be very comfortable. So, you know, at the end of the day, stock, comfortable, but I think the micarta takes it up a notch and adds a little bit more texture, a little bit more grip that you might be looking for. So, ergos are great. Next up is carry. Getting ahead of myself there. But this knife is very small. Again, the blade length I think is like 2.75 inches. So overall, it's not a big knife. You have a loop over style deep carry clip that is reversible lefty or righty depending on your, I almost said preference, depending on your handedness. So it gets deep in pocket. I mean, this thing kind of goes right above the scale. So you're getting, you know, very deep carry. It sits way down in the pocket. You know, you drop it in. I've only carried it in my jeans, my pocket of my jeans. I have also tossed it in gym shorts, just, you know, free floated around in my pocket while I've been home. It's been very lightweight, very nice. I think I had this on me Christmas Eve, so I was cutting open, you know, some paper and into a few presents and stuff like that in gym shorts. Worked great. But when I have it in jeans, you drop it down in, you don't have any flipper tab or anything going on here. It's all chamfered and nicely rounded. All the edges are good. So you're not going to be catching your hand on anything if you're reaching in for coins, chapstick, you know, other small items and stuff like that. Lightweight. There isn't, like I said earlier, some internal milling on the show scale side. Looks like there's 4 bigger pockets and a few smaller pockets. So it makes the knife very, very lightweight. It's probably right around 3 ounces if I had to guess. I can actually look here on the website. I don't really do too many specs like this, but it was just something that I was thinking about. So 2.4 ounces. So the micarta might add a little bit more. I'm not sure, but I feel like the micarta would be lighter weight than the G10. So, but regardless, right around 2.5 ounces. That's a very lightweight knife. Nice small package. Great ergos. Great, you know, carryability. So, you know, all in all, carry is great, just like everything else about this knife. So. But that leads me to my final category of price point and would I recommend this knife. Guys, I would absolutely recommend this knife. I will say I was a little late to the party. Back when Ben announced, I think he did a Kickstarter for the very first wave of these knives. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's a cool design. Like, I like supporting Ben. And then I got on and looked at it. And honestly, I hate to say this because I used to be a huge supporter of this blade steel. But D2 turned me away. I just feel like at this point in my knife collecting, you know, at the stage I'm in at knife collecting, I'm just trying to maybe go for more quality over quantity. That's why you guys haven't seen a ton of budget blades on the channel recently. You know, much less than before. I've just not been buying as many, trying to save that money and put it towards, you know, I don't want to say better knives, but, you know, knives with different, you know, materials and better blade steels and stuff like that. And like I said, I used to be a huge proponent and a huge supporter of D2. Like if it had D2, I thought it was a great deal. And I think that's still the case. But, you know, as bad as it is to say D2 was what kept me from pre-ordering this knife or joining the Kickstarter, it definitely, you know, kind of pushed me back away just because I wasn't looking to get into budget. But then I saw everybody getting one, all my, you know, friends in the community, people I'm in, you know, group chats with and stuff like that, get them. And then I was like, I had FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. And I was like, okay, I need to check out what the Lander's about. You know, I kept thinking to myself, I love Ben's designs. I like this design. Just get over the fact that it's D2. That's why I ultimately went with the blacked out version, because it would give me a little bit more corrosion resistance against sweating and stuff like that. But I don't have to worry about that so much now. It's, you know, wintertime here. It's not, you know, not gonna be that warm, stuff like that. So I ended up getting it, and I'm really glad I did. You know, I don't have any regrets now that I have these cool scales. I think this will, you know, stay in the collection for quite a while. I carried it quite a bit when I first got it, but I just have other stuff coming in and going. So it doesn't see as much pocket time as it did when I first got it. But I still find it, and I still fidget with it a lot at my desk when I'm, you know, watching something, doing something, you know, whatever I'm doing in my desk. I, you know, reach for this at least once or you know, twice a week to carry and to fidget with. But it's just a good knife, guys. Would I've loved to see like 14C 28N on here? Absolutely, because that's like, I think, a really, really, really good budget steal that you can get in that price point on other knives. So maybe in the future, if Ben sticks with kind of doing budgety stuff, maybe he can look to upgrade for a few more dollars to get 14C, because I've had really good experience with it. I've had really good, or I've heard really good things about it. But so if this was 14C, I think this would be, you know, an absolute steal at the price. I do think it's still a good deal considering, you know, what you're getting. It's $48 or $58. Like I said, if you find it on sale at Blue Creek Knives, or if you find it on sale, or if you find it for sale on White Mountain Knives, you can use codes for both of those websites. Gets it down to like $53 or something like that. You know, at that price point, it's absolutely worth it. You're getting a great design from a very, very respected, or a well-respected designer in the community, Mr. Ben Peterson. He is doing a fantastic job, and this is, you know, right up there. Everything he's created so far, well, I haven't experienced a big banner yet, so I can't really compare that to the rest of these, but the three that I have, the Lander, Baby Banner, and the normal banner, are all fantastic. You guys, you know, these are staples of the EDC community, so you guys are all very familiar with them, and, you know, all either love them or hate them by now, but I think most people love Ben's designs, and this is right up there as being, you know, a staple in his EDC collection. So, you know, all in all, great knife. The scales really kind of class it up a little bit, touch it up a little bit, from BarnesCraftDesigns. So thank you, Holden, for sending these my way and for, you know, giving me a discount code and everything like that. So that's awesome. That's only my second one ever, so I really do appreciate that. It's very humbling, and I mean, I always enjoy when people are just good human beings, and that's really what this knife community is about. But that's another rabbit hole for another day. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna wrap this up, guys, before I get too far in. We're already 22 minutes, but this was my full review on the Knafs Co Lander, rocking some BarnesCraftDesigns Anso Black micarta scales. Almost forgot what it was called there, but very cool knife for the price. I can recommend it to anybody. I think this would be a fantastic first knife for a lot of different people to get them into the EDC world, to get them into knife collecting. Just all in all, a very good price point for a very good knife. So as always, Blue Creek Knives will be linked down below. Don't forget to use code 814EDC for 10% off of your purchase. Helps me, helps you, helps Brian. It is a win-win-win. And now BarnesCraftDesigns will also be linked down below in all my videos. Use code 814 for 15% off of your purchase over there. He only has Lander scales going on right now that he's working on, but again, he's going to get back into sack scales, and he's going to venture into different knife scales. So be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Definitely leave a comment down below if you guys have a Lander. You know, if you have different types of scales for it. I've seen some other things on Instagram, you know, fat carbon, carbon fiber, different things like that. Let me know. So, but I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.